I love Animal Crossing, but my obsession with Animal Crossing didn't start until COVID with the release of the Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch. Having brought that game and played it over lockdown, like a lot of us did, it really unlocked the love for the game, and I played it no end over lockdown and then afterwards. But I really wanted to discover the older games, as I never really played those in my childhood. So, as I've discussed before on this channel, I brought a DS and from there started collecting DS games, one of those being Animal Crossing New Leaf, and I completely fell in love with that game, and that's what caused my obsession with Animal Crossing. So in this video I wanted to do a tour of my Nintendo 3DS and talk about my love for Animal Crossing and show off some of the different Animal Crossing games and things I have in my collection. So let's get started. So, as covered in one of my other videos, I brought a Happy Home Designer Animal Crossing new Nintendo 3DS, and this basically is one of my prized possessions. I absolutely love this console. I brought it specifically because it's Animal Crossing themed. I love the designs on the faceplate. So these are from the Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer game, and it kind of gives you like a little snapshot, but I love how sort of fun and bright and colourful the console is, and I brought this console off eBay complete with the box, and it came in such great condition. It's kind of like an immaculate console. I really need to get a case for it actually, but I play this no end, and it's, as I've said, is basically my prize little console, this. But as with most things, kind of went all in on the Animal Crossing theme. So if I boot it up, you can see that my home screen is also very Animal Crossing themed. So as I said, I got this after lockdown. The Nintendo eShop was still live, luckily for me. So the background is obviously an Animal Crossing one, which I downloaded from my Nintendo, and it has Isabelle on so this nice green background, which is really fun in my opinion. But as well, I went really hard on collecting the Animal Crossing badges on the Nintendo Badge Arcade. So I replaced a lot of the different applications on the device with these nice badges from Animal Crossing. So I've got one for the Nintendo shop with Tom Nook, and then one for the camera and the Mii Maker. And I just really like this above sort of the games to kind of make like a little mini Animal Crossing sort of home screen on my device, which I think is really fun. And then if I slide over to the side to break up sort of the different pages, I also have some of the Animal Crossing sort of like bells, bags and symbols as well. And then following that, I also have some Mario badges just to create a fun little scene. So this device, I also downloaded New Leaf directly off the store. So I don't own a physical copy, I just own a digital copy, but I would quite like to buy a copy for it as well. I also own the Happy Home Designer game on the 3DS as well, and I think this is one of my favourite Animal Crossing games along with New Leaf, mainly because I love the decoration aspect of Animal Crossing. So this just fulfills that itch. You can obviously just decorate to your heart's content on this game. I love that you are given different themes, different themed rooms and different sort of like buildings to just kit out to however you choose, and you don't have to work for the decorations or anything like that. You can basically just work through the catalogue. And what I really enjoy as well and find really fun with it is the fact that it uses the same assets, same models as New Leaf. So it's basically like you are just playing New Leaf but on creative mode, which is really enjoyable to me. Also in my collection of games, I also have Animal Crossing Wild World. So this one I haven't played as much as New Leaf. I've only played a little bit, but again, I wanted to kind of see where Animal Crossing started on handhelds. So it's really fun to compare the two games and then the Switch game and see how they're different, what the similarities are. So I'll take you through my island on this shortly, as well as on my New Leaf island. But as I've said, I didn't play Wild World as much as New Leaf. Another fun thing in my collection that I'm really pleased to have is the New Leaf strategy guide. I absolutely love strategy guides. I used to have loads of them when I was younger, and then sadly lost them in my collection as I got older. So I jumped at the chance of buying this one, and this is just a really fun book that basically covers everything you could ever want with Animal Crossing New Leaf. So it's got all of the different neighbours that you could get, talks about the different characters, and what I use it for a lot of the time is to look at the different insects that you can collect and fish that you can collect. So when I'm looking to complete my collection, it also has a calendar in it that tells you about the different events that run through the game. So it's nice just to have like a physical guide that I love just flicking through and looking at all the different furniture items. I think there's just something so fun about having like a tangible book to flick through. And I wish they'd do guides for more games. I think it's a lost art, and it's really sad that we don't have physical guides anymore. And then next, I also have a collection of amiibo cards. So I got these during my trip to Japan. So I was very lucky actually, because I brought a few different packs that I didn't end up getting any duplicates. So these are for some of the different Sanrio character sets, as well as the just more general item sets. And you can use these in New Leaf to call a camper van to the campsite, which then you can buy the furniture on the front of these cards. So it's just, a really fun thing to collect, and next time I go to Japan I'm definitely going to be buying more of these, because as I said, I just kind of like having something tangible to look through. So I thought it would be fun now to actually show off my island on Animal Crossing New Leaf, given that we're doing a tour of my 3DS. So let's jump into the game. So as I said, I've been playing this for about 3 or 4 years now, as I must have picked it up in around 2021, I think. So let me jump in. My island's called Smallberg. I just named it at the time. I never really know what to call my island on these games whenever I do it. So I ended up on Smallberg. So here we go. Here's my house. As you will see, I think I created this pattern myself. I can't remember if I downloaded it or not, but I basically used it to create paths across my island. I really wanted to customize it as much as I possibly can, and then I've lined the paths with various different flowers, as well as some of the more rarer flowers that you have to grow yourselves. And my house has a nice matching blue and pink aesthetic to it, to the flowers around it. So let's jump in to the house. So this is my sort of main living room, dining room area. It's a very eclectic mix of furniture and items, but I've kind of tried to go for sort of like a actual blue theme, kind of more of like a livable space. And of course, I had to have a retro gaming shelf, obviously. And then I also have a nice little laundry nook. So yeah, quite a big room. This is definitely like the bigger of the rooms. I would quite like to make the furniture match a bit more. I've kind of just ended up buying bits as I've seen them, so that's definitely something that I might change over time. So in the back I have a very small little garden area. So this is one that I need to expand upon and make big. But the idea here is that it's going to turn into like a indoor-outdoor garden. And as you can see, I've got a nice little pond and a fake bush and a totem. So yeah, I want to build that out to be more of like an outdoor space. And then to the right, I have a kitchen area that I've made. So this is just a very cozy little kitchen room, actually. I really like the white bricks and then the counter units. I think it's like a really nice cozy little kitchen space, which I wouldn't mind actually having in real life. So yeah, I've got the fridge and then the shelves above it, carts, some plants. So yeah, really pleased with this room. To be honest, I don't really want to make it much bigger, because I do find that when the room's too big, it's hard to kind of emulate a vibe. So this one I wanted as like a nice little cozy kitchen area. And then finally, if we run upstairs, this is the bedroom. So again, this is another cozy little room. I wanted it to feel really warm. So I've got like a little TV up in the top there, a fun little stand and lots of plants again, and a fan, obviously, because you need to keep cool while you're asleep. And then I've also got a pirate costume. And that's my little house on Animal Crossing. So if we run back outside, we can see some of the villagers. So to be honest, on my island, there's not that many villagers that I'm actually super keen on. So I've got Maria, the octopus, and she's one of my favourites. I think I've had her for a little while. Actually, I was playing the other day and she wanted to leave, so I declined her request. She's trapped on my island forever, but she's my favourite. I do kind of always flip-flop with the idea of trying to collect the same type of villager, so having all sort of octopus villagers, but I quite enjoy just having an eclectic mix of villagers as well. Another one of my favourite villagers is Avery. So the eagle, and he was one of my starting villagers, so I've got a little soft spot for him. Frogbert as well is another one that I quite enjoy. I quite like the frog villagers, so I'm always on the lookout for more of them. So yeah, that's kind of it for villagers. The other ones I'm not too fussed about. Sorry, Becky and Jacques. So if any of them want to leave, I'm not too bothered by it. The only thing is that if they do leave, they end up moving out, and obviously a new house moves in, and that might wreck the design of the island, because I've got it quite nicely designed where I've got this winding path that goes around all their different houses and then to the cafe and to the shop as well. So I'm really pleased kind of with how I've got it designed at the moment. And one more thing, this is my little flag outside of my town hall. So this is Grogu. Obviously at the time that I had first was playing this game, it was when Mandalorian and Grogu, the first season of that just came out, so I was obsessed with him and made this lovely little flag for my island. So yeah, that's it for Animal Crossing New Leaf. As I said, I just really enjoy this game, and I probably played it more than New Horizons, and that's partly because I think I like the fact that it's slightly more simpler than the new game, and it has these charming sort of retro graphics to it, and I like the fact that you can kind of push the limits of the creativity on it and what you can do. There's obviously no terraforming, but through the use of like flowers and planting trees and some of the projects like the clock here, which I've turned into a nice little town square, you can truly kind of like customize it. And I like being able to try and like make the island feel unique and push the limits of sort of what's possible within the game. And you can obviously do that in New Horizon. I've seen no end of things online and videos online where people have made amazing cityscapes on their island and stuff like that, but I don't think my creativity is as good as that, so I'll stick to this game and the charming graphics and its more slightly simpler gameplay. So yeah, can easily waste quite a few hours, well, not waste, enjoy quite a few hours in this game. There's obviously still quite a bit that I need to do. I've still not got any of the special flowers, I forget the name of them, the ones that you get for having a well-kept island, and there's a few different of the colour flowers that I don't have. I do have in this sort of corner of my island over here a nice breeding area set up for flowers, so I can water these and get some of those rarer flower colours that I'm after. And then up in the top corner of my island, I also have a huge pansy field of flowers, and this was mainly because I kept getting loads and loads of pansies spawn on my island and I didn't really know what to do with them, so I just made a giant pansy field. So that's this one. Now let's jump into Wild World. So here we have Animal Crossing Wild World. As you can see, I've not played as much as New Leaf on this. My town is called Varrock, named after the town in RuneScape. But yeah, I do find that this one is cute, and I enjoy, as I've said, comparing the two, but it's not really the game that I sunk my teeth into compared to New Leaf. But again, it's got charming graphics, which I enjoy, and I think it's really fun to just be able to compare and see where the franchise started compared to what it is now. There's a lot of the gameplay systems are the same. You obviously still have very similar fruits and a very similar gameplay loop to the game of getting villagers and adding things to your museum, which is fun. But yeah, I don't actually have that many villagers on this game because I've not played it too much, but when I get the time, I need to play it more. And then also on my device, I have Happy Home Designer, which I've played quite a bit of. I will load that up and I can show you some of the builds I've done on it. Here we are in the game. As you'll see, I've tried to make my little character the same as what he looks like in New Leaf, which I find fun because it's the same character models. I also think it's really fun that the premise of the game is that you run sort of an estate agents. I love seeing all the little characters in their costumes, so I've made sure that mine is matching as well. So let's move off and look around the island. So here we can see all of the different buildings that I've done. I think one of my favourite buildings that I did was the cafe. So this is a very nice little green leafy cafe where I've got a nice bake cabinet and the little coffee machines and stuff like that. I always find that with this game it's a fun little juggle between space and then how you want to decorate it, because you can often find that you'll decorate the rooms and decorate the buildings, but then when you actually come to load in and play around afterwards, the characters can't move around because you've made all the building too tight. So I think when I'd originally designed the supermarket here, got a lot more shelving units in, but then the characters wouldn't really walk around and would get stuck. So I've tried to open up a bit more, as you can see here. Definitely inspired by 7-Eleven, this one. And yeah, I just really enjoy this game, as I've said, mainly for the fact that you can just decorate it to your heart's content, that it's basically just a Animal Crossing creative mode, which is very fun. And I like the fact that you're given several different buildings to decorate, as well as houses for the villagers. It's often something that in the game I try and recreate. So like as you've seen in my house, have an outdoor garden when it's indoors, so it's fun that you can do that. So another one of my favourite buildings being the department store. So I've started off with the entrance being like a fancy lobby with all the fancy stuff in, and then to the left side I have like a kids toy department with big teddy bears and some of the toy items and another little cash register. And then to the right I have a furniture department with all just various different bits of furniture. So yeah, that is my Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. So why do I enjoy Animal Crossing so much? Well, I think like a lot of people, Animal Crossing, especially the new game, came out at a time where we couldn't really talk to each other because we're all indoors with lockdown. So it became one of those escape of games where you could log on every day and do something new and talk to these villagers and kind of make connections with them, which was needed at the time. And that kind of opened the door to the franchise for me, playing it a lot. And as I've discussed in other videos, I was also getting into retro game collecting at the time, so it kind of worked as a perfect time for me to get into the older games and see what they had to offer. And I think it was just their charm that really resonated with me and resulted in this sort of collection that I've shown you today of Animal Crossing themed items. There's definitely a lot more of things that I could get, so I'd love to know what items I'm missing and what items you think I should add. I do really want to get a Animal Crossing themed Switch. I'm a bit sad that I didn't buy one at the time when that came out, so I keep looking at them online, but I haven't bit the bullet and brought one yet. But yeah, very much love my Nintendo 3DS, this Happy Home Designer one. I know there's a couple of other DSs that are Animal Crossing themed as well, which I'd love to add to my collection, but this one is definitely my precious little console that I absolutely adore. So that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a comment and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!